Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Juri Munkki and I'm a maker. In this video I'm showing you how you can make a mini boom for a Duotone Slick from a broken ice hockey stick. You can find the 3D printable models for the end pieces on MyMinifactory. The link is in the description. So why would you want to make a mini boom out of a hockey stick? For one thing, hockey sticks are really light. The other thing, they're quite durable and stiff. And they're also very cheap because you can find broken hockey sticks at ice hockey rinks, in the garbage bins. Now there are a couple of things you need to consider when you're looking for an ice hockey stick to use as a boom. For one thing, it needs to be long enough. The one I have here is actually a youth hockey stick. It's broken fairly typically near the end. You can see it's bending here. Taped it up a little bit, and I've also marked the spot where I'll be sawing it into two pieces. Now this one is not quite long enough to make a boom for the larger wings, but the smaller wings, at least from size 3.5 downwards, can actually use a much shorter boom. You need 125 centimeters ideally from end to end. And you can get by with 123 because I designed a back end piece that adds about 2 centimeters. So, well, if you find the perfect hockey stick and it's just a little bit short, you can try that one. I've been using it for quite a while and it hasn't broken yet, so it seems to be fine. The stick we have here, I'm just gonna cut it here. And it's going to make a shorter boom for the smaller wing sizes. It's really handy to have a short boom if you have a small wing. It'll be dedicated to that wing or the smaller wings, but it'll be a lot lighter as well. The hockey sticks come in different flex ratings. The higher the flex rating, the stiffer it is. The typical stiffness for an adult hockey stick is a flex 77 or thereabout, 75. And the higher end is at like 87 or 100 even. And the lower end, where you start to get into youth hockey sticks, is around 65. Hockey sticks used to be made out of wood, so you want something that's fairly recent. And another fairly recent change, the sticks are now covered with a sticky coating. If you're going to be adding a separate grip over the stick, this probably doesn't matter, although new sticks might be a little bit lighter. But if you're going to be using the hockey stick bare without any extra grip, then you definitely want one that has the sticky lacquer coating on it. Now in case you don't happen to come by a sticky coated hockey stick, you can use these heat shrink grips. So just look for heat shrink grip for a fishing rod. The length they come in is 1 meter and the diameter you should be buying is 35 millimeters. You can use 30 millimeters if you can't find 35. It will fit the hockey stick, but it will not fit over the back end piece. So you have to apply the grip before you glue on the back end piece. So the first thing to do is to measure the length and then take a hacksaw and cut this piece here. This will be the back end piece, so it's close to the blade of the hockey stick. The reason for this is that the hockey stick often becomes a little bit thinner and a little bit wider around here, and I think it works better if you vary the back end piece size a little bit more than the front end piece. So the front end piece looks like this, and the back end piece looks like this. The next thing you'll need is a caliper, and if you don't have calipers, you should probably round up slightly so that you get a slightly loose fit instead of something that doesn't fit at all. So once you take the measurements, I recommend you make a copy of the spreadsheet I have provided and enter those measurements in the spreadsheet. The X is the short side of the stick. And here we are entering the measurements from the front, and you can see it adjusts the scale percentage directly below it. Then we enter the Y, And here we have the measurements for the front piece. And the scaling factors will be different for the back end piece. So we need to measure the hockey stick at both ends. In this case, the back end piece measurement is 17.4 millimeters, which is quite small, so the percentage ends up a little bit smaller at 87.5. And the long end is 28.45, which is also small, but this is a youth stick, so we end up with 95.2%. And last, there's also a 3D printer tolerance that you can adjust. If your printer tends to print a little bit tight, you might want to increase that to make the fit a little bit looser. Now, once you've entered the measurements in the spreadsheet, you open up your favorite slicer to enter the values. So here's Simplify 3D. We double click on the object name. We're just doing the front end here. Remember, you have to do the back end and front end separately. You have to click off the uniform scaling. And once you've done that, you can enter different scale factors in percentages for X, Y, and Z. X and Y are the ones we modify based on the spreadsheet, and Z is always 100%. There we go. And now we can click to prepare the print, and we can see that there's a print time estimate of 2 hours 30 minutes, which is probably optimistic, and a plastic weight of 33.3 grams. Next up, we're using Ultimaker Cura. The model is already there, and we click on the object and we get the scale. Now, I already clicked off uniform scaling before, but you have to make sure that it's not on. And now you can enter the scale factors again. So just as before, X is 96.8%, Y is 94.8%, and Z is at 100%. Next up, we have Prusa Slicer, making sure the scale factor lock is off, so I can enter different factors: 96.8, 94.8, and 100% Z. We can do a slice, and we get a lot of stats and a print time of 4 hours 9 minutes. Once you've printed the ends, you can do a test fit and test the boom on your wing. At this point, you can glue them on and you're done. Now, if you're concerned about weight, these grip slips, these 1 meter tubes, weigh about 80 grams. The lightest boom that I have is 260 grams, that's a shorter one. I started this boom project last year, and initially I really didn't think of using ice hockey sticks, and I started with 25 millimeter aluminum tubes. If you're interested in using a round profile instead of ice hockey sticks, then leave a comment on the object page, or you can private message me directly. So that's almost everything for this video. I do like to leave teasers for the next video, and I think the next product will be really nice, because when you're assembling your foil, you tend to do a lot of screwing, so a nice screwdriver is really useful, and this is it. So let's put it here. Now imagine there's a screw below it, and you spin it, and that's it. That's the loose part of the threads done. And then you have a really nice handle that you can grip and torque the screws down properly. I've been using this since last summer, and I wouldn't use anything else to assemble my foil. So thanks for watching, and see you next time. Goodbye.